What you're about to hear was the worst night of my life. I went to a downtown club with my boyfriend and his friends on a Saturday night. My boyfriend and I had been having issues, and we ended up arguing at the club. Frustrated, I decided to leave and called an Uber. It was raining, so I waited under a nearby building's awning. A white car pulled up, and a woman rolled down the window, asking if I was waiting for an Uber. I confirmed, and she said her name. Thinking it was my ride, I got in the back seat. The woman didn't respond when I asked how she was. When I glanced up from my phone, I noticed her tense posture and that she was driving the wrong way. Concerned, I spoke up, but she claimed she was taking the highway. My phone then buzzed with a notification from Uber, "Meet your driver now." Realizing I was in the wrong car, I told her to stop. She ignored me, so I yelled and tried to open the door, but it was locked. Eventually, she pulled over, and I got out. My actual Uber driver called, and I explained everything. He arrived and told me I had narrowly escaped a sex trafficking trap. There were reports of fake Ubers targeting women, driven by females to appear less threatening. Please, always verify the car you're getting into is your actual Uber.
One night after leaving a bar, I started messaging people on Tinder. A girl named Alicia invited me over to smoke. I ordered an Uber, and the driver picked me up. He seemed friendly, and we chatted about his experiences as an Uber driver. When we reached the address Alicia gave me, the house looked suspicious. No cars, no lights. The driver warned me to be careful. I thanked him and approached the house. After knocking and getting no answer, I called Alicia. She texted back, saying to come inside. Then, there was a knock at the window, and I saw a hand waving in the dark. Suddenly, my Uber driver called, urgently telling me to get back in the car. He pulled out, and I quickly got in. He explained that the house was vacant and that someone had recently been lured there and murdered. It was a sobering realization. I thanked him profusely and took his number. The next morning, the gravity of what almost happened hit me even harder.
On a slower Monday night, I picked up a guy named John from a corner liquor store. He and his friend got into my car, and something about their behavior immediately put me on edge. They whispered to each other, frequently glancing at me in the rearview mirror. Every time I looked back, they would notice and return my stare, making the situation increasingly uncomfortable. I tried to make small talk by asking where they were headed, but they ignored me, thinking they might not have heard over the wind noise from the open window. I repeated my question louder. One of them finally barked back, "Harris Avenue," in an unfriendly tone. This only made me more anxious, and I unconsciously pressed harder on the gas, wanting to get there quickly and end the ride. When we arrived at the given address, I saw it was a rundown storefront with a group of guys loitering outside, all wearing masks similar to those from the movie The Purge. I slowed down and asked if this was their stop. As I turned to face them, I noticed both passengers had also donned masks, and I felt a hard object press against the back of my shoulder, likely a gun. They ordered me to pull up to the group outside, and I complied. The men outside demanded my wallet, and I handed it over without hesitation. The two in the back seat got out, and all 5 masked men walked away, one of them kicking my car door as they left. I drove away as fast as I could and immediately reported the incident to Uber and the police. It turned out they had used fake info and a stolen credit card to set up the ride. I lost $250, my IDs, and several cards, but I was relieved to have escaped unharmed. After leaving a friend's Super Bowl party, I called an Uber to take me home. When I got in, there was a guy in a baseball hat sitting in the back seat. I assumed it was an Uber pool and greeted the driver. He didn't respond, and we drove off. As we reached my house, I got out and shut the door, only to hear another door shut behind me. The guy from the back seat was now standing in the street, facing me with his head down, hat covering his face. I said, "What's up? What's going on?" But he just started to walk away. Feeling uneasy, I decided to walk around the block instead of heading straight to my door. As I walked, I noticed the man was mirroring my movements on the opposite sidewalk. When I turned at an intersection, he did the same. I broke into a run, and so did he. Adrenaline kicked in, and I sprinted faster than ever before, reaching my backyard and hiding until I was sure he didn't see me. Once inside, I immediately called the Uber driver to explain what had happened. He told me the guy had claimed to know me and said he was getting out at the same stop. The driver assured me he would report the incident. I never followed up, but the experience left me shaken. It made me much more cautious with Uber rides, especially when other passengers are involved.